Hey everyone, hope you are well. Now, welcome to a murky, dark morning. It's actually a pretty wet day today. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, which is way too early for me, but I'm excited. I'm obviously in my motorhome, but you may see it is looking very spick and span, very clean at the minute. I've got boxes full of my stuff here. That's because this is actually a journey today to pick up my brand new Sunlight motorhome. This is the last time I'm going to be driving this model. So I'm heading down to Nottingham, down to Loudham's World of Leisure, which is actually Sunlight's distributor for the UK. And yeah, it's a long drive, and I think I should probably get started. Let's go on with it. And through the power of editing, about 4 or 5 hours later, I lost count, here I am at Loudham's. I think I've seen the vehicle I'm moving into, and yeah, can't wait to show you guys. It's pretty pimp. I've just stopped off at their drop-off point, so this isn't really their showroom, but you can already see they've got a lot of stock. If you are interested in getting a motorhome, and ideally a Sunlight one, then I can definitely recommend Loudham's in the UK. Alright guys, we've got Paul here just showing me, and there it is. Hey. What have we got here?
T68XV edition. This is their 15-year anniversary one.
So this is actually the same model I've got now, but the anniversary model with a few upgrades.
Yes, yeah. You've got obviously the colour cab and the decals, and of course inside it's all been sanitised. Okay, inside they've got an upgrade on the upholstery.
Check this out.
Yeah,
nice bit of leather.
Yes,
lovely, lovely.
It was actually one of the good sellers at the show. Everybody liked it. It attracted a lot of attention.
Oh, that new vehicle smell.
Yeah.
So guys, obviously I've shown you around mine in the past. This one is, yeah, exactly the same layout, which works perfect for me. It's got the massive garage at the back, which is ideal. Yeah, this one's got a bit of a nicer spec to it. So it's got the alloy wheels as well, hasn't it? Leather setup.
Leather setup.
And yeah, this, same
satellite, all that sort of stuff.
This is nice. Obviously I've got a lot of stuff to swap over, so I think when we do that I can kind of show you a bit of the features, refresh your minds if you've not seen one of these before, and I'll show you exactly how I run it. And yeah, looking forward to it.
We did all the awning to match colour code black.
Oh yeah.
On the outside. So that's another difference to spec.
Nice, nice.
And all your bike rack and that on the back is done in black as well.
Oh, nice bit of colour coding.
They really, yeah, they did a nice anniversary model.
Yeah, no,
really
it looked amazing. I love the black cab. It's so cool. I am so stoked on this thing. I knew I was getting this model, so I've done a little bit of looking up on it, and yeah, it's ideal. It's basically just a pimper version of the one I've got now, which has been working amazingly for me despite the lack of use because of the virus, but here's hoping I can get out on this one a little bit more. Right, let's get these boxes swapped over then. Might take a while. And that, guys, is why I love this vehicle. The garage is just so big. In a normal car, you still have to at least take a wheel off. With this one, I've got, what, 5 bikes in there, and I've only had to take the wheel off my mountain bike. I am smiling into the mess.
Your eyes are smiling, it's all good.
Alright guys, I believe I am all set. So, nothing left to do than to drive out of here, find somewhere to park, get this thing unpacked, and then get some riding done. Yeah, can't wait. Right, no riding just yet. I've just driven for an hour. My brain is frazzled. I've been driving since 7 o'clock this morning, and yeah, I'm tired. So if I start muddling my words even, I can't even say muddling right, then yeah, I'm just tired. But I just want to do a little bit more filming while I'm fresh in the vehicle. I'm away from Loudham's. I can kind of have a bit more free time without kind of worrying about holding up them. Firstly, this is a brand new vehicle. It's so new. When I set off from Loudham's, it had 40 miles on the clock. 40. That is that is literally brand new. I've never had a vehicle with as few miles as that. It's awesome. So I've just put on a bunch to come up to Matlock, where I'm going to spend the night, and tomorrow I'm going to make a video in the quarry, which is just outside that window. But like I said, I'm standing on stuff. Like I said, I'm going to spend the night here, so that means I've got a lot of unpacking to do. I've got these boxes full of stuff. I've got this one here. This is my play box. It's got my skateboard and stuff in. We've got plastic all on the floor. We've got plastic all over the sheets back here. That is my cardboard cutout. Everyone needs a cardboard cutout themselves. I need to put all my bedding in place. So yeah, I've got a lot of work to do. I'm absolutely starving as well. I've just been down to the shop and got some food. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of unpacking, get some food, get a good night's sleep, and then do some riding tomorrow. By the way, if you're wondering why there is an extra mattress here, it looks like there's only 2 beds in the back here, but if you're new to one of these motorhomes, we have this thing here, slides out, this plonks in the right way up, and you suddenly have an absolutely massive nest. You can roll about the place. Ah, so much space. There'll be even more space if I didn't have all my crap over there. I always keep a bunch of posters in my motorhome in case I meet a fan who wants something signed, which actually happened quite recently, and I completely forgot I had these almost signed, just a piece of paper. Then I remembered I had them. Signed one of these for him, and yeah, I think it's definitely worth having these in. It feels a little bit big-headed to carry around posters to sign, but people want them, so keep them in the motorhome. If you find me and you want a signed poster, you know who to ask. By the way guys, you can't really see this, but let me show you. We've got proper slatted bed frames as well. Alright, I know this hasn't been exciting so far, it's just been me making beds, but one thing, if you're interested, I keep with me in my motorhome is this blanket. This was quilted, sewn, I'm not sure what process this was made of, but this was made by my mum, and it's nice to have a little bit of family, a little bit of home with me when I'm away, and this just reminds me of my mum, my family, and yeah, it's nice, it makes me feel happy, so I keep this with me in my motorhome, so no matter where I am, I've always got a contact with my parents. And there we go, that is a neatly done bed area. Let's see if I can show you this. Oh, look at that. How inviting is that, just in the back there. Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to a good night's sleep tonight. I know what I need to unpack next. I desperately need to eat, so I'm gonna get some pots and pans out, get some cooking done on the hob, and yeah, I bought a lovely steak, so I'm gonna treat myself. By the way guys, how's this for mood lighting? That's awesome. Time for some dinner. Right, I've had my feed, but I've also come to the end of my tether. I am too tired, so time for bed. Let's get these lights off, get into my bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Good morning. That's actually a brilliant night's sleep. I've still got a lot of unpacking to do though. Alright, I just spent the last half hour sorting out the kitchen. I didn't film it, I didn't think you guys would be interested in me organising my knives and forks and stuff, but there's a couple of things in the kitchen which I find handy, and if you are getting a motorhome, something to consider. Obviously a chopping board of some kind, super handy, but it's mainly this stuff. This stuff is some grippy mat. This stuff is brilliant. Now worktop surfaces, they're great, but they're a little bit on the slippy side, and if you want to keep stuff on here when going around corners, if you're thinking you're a bit of a rally driver, this stuff keeps whatever you put on top of it in place. The other thing that I find is definitely worth keeping close to hands is just surface wipes. Food spills, you get mucky prints all over the glass tops, and just having some wipes close by, super handy. I also got my bathroom ready, and I know bathrooms are really quite boring, but there's one thing in here if you are thinking of getting a motorhome, I really like this. Check this out. I got this little suck-on thing, toothbrush holder. It's awesome. So yeah, it keeps anything off the surface here, keeps that clean, stops the toothbrush head from touching anything, and yeah, actually I'm really stoked on that. I just got that off Amazon and it's been awesome. Stops anything from falling off, and yeah, it's cheap as chips. So if you're getting a motorhome, get one of these. Pretty cool that you get such a big mirror as well. Check that out. You can also see my equipment. Don't get to see that very often. Definitely need a wider lens though, but we've got the bathroom on this side with the basin and the toilet, and then on this side is a full-size shower, which is pretty sweet. And yeah, I've just gone and stocked that up with some fresh cleanables, so yeah, I will be making use of that later. Anyway, that's enough of the potentially boring stuff. Let's get on with some of the toys that I've got. Got a couple of boxes left. Now these things are either things that I find quite fun to keep in a motorhome, or just general life hacks that make life a little bit easier living in a generally small space. As much as I like to park on level ground, sometimes you end up parking on a slight slope, and with these tables being so smooth and a little bit on the slippy side, bowls, cups, stuff like that tend to have an ability to slide further than you like. So if you have one of these mats, you stick it on the table, whatever you put on that mat will stay in place, so they're so handy to have. Now I do actually have a TomTom sat-nav with me. I haven't used this in years. I always use my phone, but doing what I do, riding bikes, I might end up smashing my phone, and then yeah, I don't have any maps or anything, so I've got a TomTom just as a backup in case I break my phone. It's always useful to have a pair of sunglasses around. These are a pair of Sunlight branded ones, which is awesome, but I recently got sent some TENS models thanks to Chris from TENS, a pal of mine. Sent me up a pair of these, and these will be my driving sunglasses from now on. They have a fancy lens with an awesome filter which makes stuff look amazing. I wonder if I can show you. Look at that. So yeah, makes everything look like you've got an Instagram filter on, which is awesome. So these are going to be my driving glasses from now on. In fact, I might just keep them on for the rest of this video. Speaking of phones and stuff with the sat-nav, I tend to have a couple of these battery packs. I've actually got one on my iPhone here. I did have a Samsung, so I've got one for a Samsung. These things are pretty handy to have. They're not super vital. There's loads of USB ports around the place, but you never know what will happen. If you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, hopefully you don't break down, but for whatever reason, if you can't charge your phone, you've got one of these, you're going to have probably another couple of days use out of your phone, so great in an emergency. Now, being an athlete, sometimes I have aches and pains, so I've actually got a fairly small, what are these called? What are these called? I can't remember, it's too early. What? I honestly can't remember what this thing's called. Well, it's obviously called Master of Muscle, which is a great name. Let's call it a pain cylinder. Yeah, if you get sore muscles and stuff, you get a pain or whatever, these things are great to roll about on, try and get some pressure. If you can't go and see an awesome massage therapist like my fiance Jane, then this is probably one of the next best things. So it's great to have one of these, small, lightweight, stick it in one of the cupboards. I know I've got it if I need it. Now here's something I've used a few times. It's my penny board. I actually bought this years ago when I lived in Blackpool with Mark, and it was great to going up and down the seafront, up and down the prom. I've actually used this to go to the shops sometimes. Like if you've got a bike, you don't necessarily want to get the bike out, get the locks, all that kind of stuff. This thing, I can just hop on it, scoot down the road, grab my shopping, scoot back, and yeah, it's just handy to have around. Plus it's really pretty fun. So I stick this in a cupboard, and then if I ever want it, I've got it. Right, what we've got next, we've got a multi-tool. This is basically a cheap Leatherman. Super handy to have a pair of pliers, knives, a bunch of stuff like that around. You can hopefully see that. Yeah, like I said, this is a fairly cheap one, but yeah, I've only had to use it a couple of times. If I ended up using this lots, I'd invest in something really good, but for the times I've used it, this has been pretty handy. And yeah, if you're gonna be doing the motorhome life, you may as well just get something like this. You never know when you might need it. Candles. If you want your nice cozy motorhome to stay smelling nice, then yeah, it's definitely worth firstly washing your clothes whenever you can, emptying the toilet, getting some candles. I've got a couple of these things, and at night they're just brilliant. Get these on, make the place smelling amazing. So yeah, for how cheap they are, you may as well just get a couple of candles and have a lovely smelling motorhome. Now, life hack stuff, I've just got double-sided Velcro because you never know what you might want to just stick around places. And I've got some reusable heavy-duty zip ties. Zip ties get you out of so many situations, and being reusable, it means I don't necessarily have to carry a knife or whatever to remove them. So yeah, these things are brilliant. I use them quite a lot, and like I said, if you just live in the motorhome life, having this kind of stuff can get you out of so many tricky situations. So yeah, definitely worth getting if you don't have it. Now, this one I've used a couple of times. This is a lantern. If you're parked in the absolute middle of nowhere and you want a bit of light, say you're sitting outside underneath the veranda, having a lantern just gives a nice, just overall light. It's not like a torch or anything like that, just like a focus beam. This thing just lights up a general area. This thing will also do SOS signals. If you're stuck up a mountain or whatever, you can stick this on, hopefully people will see you. And you can also charge your phone with it. So yeah, plenty of uses, dead handy to have. And I don't think this one is charged, so I definitely need to charge this one today. Now, like I mentioned, maybe you sat outside on the veranda and you've got your nice ambient light. Maybe you want some ambient music as well. You don't want to stick the stereo on and drain the battery. Just have one of these Bluetooth speakers, sit outside, enjoy the tunes. So small, you can just stick it away somewhere, and yeah, so handy. Always useful to have some sugru lying about. Again, you never know when you might need it. This stuff is a lifesaver. I have some Loctite because, again, if you're bringing your bikes into places and stuff starts coming loose, Loctite is a pure lifesaver. And then I've just got a bunch of multi-tools lying about the place as well. Well, another one for making the place smell nice. An air freshener, a bit like the candle, but if you want it done quicker, these things are awesome. Now, these things are actually really cool. This is a helmet holder in the garage at the back if you want to have your helmet secured, not rolling about the place. These things are awesome. They fit most helmets. You just screw this to the wall or whatever. I'm not going to do it to this because I have to give it back, but if you own your own motorhome, these things are so good at storing your helmet safely. Okay, here's a pretty cool thing. I've not actually used this yet, but if you're out in the wilderness and you want to start a barbecue outside, or you need to cut down a branch that's falling in your way, whatever reason, this is a saw. But yeah, obviously it takes up so little space. It's essentially a chainsaw blade. Hopefully you can see that. And for the space this thing takes up, it means you can just go have this in your pocket, just store it in a cupboard somewhere, and if you ever get a branch that's in your way or you need to start a fire or whatever, this thing will just chew through it. These things are so cool. Yeah, just another thing that's just dead handy to have. Like I said, I've not used it yet, but you never know, one day I might have to. And speaking of things that I've never used, I've got this box here, or this bag. This is a fishing rod, and I'd so love just to park up somewhere and just be by the ocean or a lake or whatever, somewhere I am able to go fishing with permission. Then yeah, I can just go and hopefully catch a fish and have that for my dinner. This is a super cheap fishing rod, so how big a fish I could catch with this, who knows, but yeah, one day I'll use it, and if it works I'll let you know. What else we got here? Just a general steering wheel lock if you park up in a sketchy area. Definitely worth having one of those. I have a Buden's power station. Now, if you're going on an actual adventure to the middle of nowhere, having one of these is so handy if you want to work on your laptop, if you want to just generally charge your phone. You can even take this with you if you're going on adventure and you don't mind a bit of extra weight. Having one of these with you means you can charge your phone wherever you are. Now, this will charge off the 12 volt while you're driving, but if you're parked up somewhere, you don't want to just sit with the engine running. So to charge this in the middle of nowhere, I got myself this thing. This goes with the power station, and a little bit on the expensive side, but this is a massive solar panel. So I can stick this on the roof, I can stick this outside, stick it on the dash or whatever, and this will charge my power station, which means I can be in the middle of nowhere and still be able to use my laptop no problem at all. So I've never used this. I bought this specifically for this motorhome and I'm dead excited to use it. Just look how quickly that packs up as well. That's awesome. Well guys, I think that is just, oh, no, there's one more. Can't forget the cat pillow. I've had this in every motorhome I've had so far. This was a present from my fiance's mum, my to-be mother-in-law, and yeah, like the blanket I've got from my mum, it's just nice to have something that reminds me of home. So I like cats, obviously. Yeah, so she picks right. This is awesome. Is that everything? No, I've got one more thing behind the camera. Sorry guys. Kick that. So if I've gone fishing and I've caught an absolutely massive tuna, I need to gut it, descale it, debone it, whatever. I've got myself a decent knife. So this is made in Sweden and it's just a real good quality kind of hunting knife. It is the sharpest thing I've ever felt in my life. However, I've not really used it yet. I've not caught any fish. I've not really done anything too adventurous that I need a proper hunting knife for, but one can hope. And if I go somewhere in the middle of nowhere, I've made a trap, caught my dinner, I can then use this to process it. So yeah, plus I quite like knives. Right guys, I guess the only thing to do now is tidy all this stuff away, have a cup of tea, and then I'm going to ride this quarry out here on my retro bike, which will be in a video which I'll link down below. Well, I've spent a few days in the motorhome now, absolutely loving it. I've ended up in my hometown of Hebden Bridge in West Yorkshire and it's absolutely glorious weather. I have an issue though. I definitely underprepared. I did not bring enough pair of shorts. In fact, I only brought one pair and these jeans I got on are definitely too skinny. Let's jump back in and modify these jeans. Right, back in a second. I need to get changed. There we go. Now, how are we gonna do this? This is either gonna work really well or really badly. I reckon about there. Let's give that a try. Get my sharp knife and... go, that's one. Full commitment. I now have a pair of shorts. Let's see if that worked. Ta-da! Right, well some people would say that was perfect and I would be one of them. That went way better than I expected. Yeah. So I may not have hunted with this knife yet, but certainly just gutted my jeans. That actually worked really well. I knew this would come in handy someday. Perfect. Right, now that I have made my clothes considerably lighter and hopefully cooler, I'm going to go ride my hometown. I've got a few different things I want to ride in Hebden Bridge and not enough time to do it. So I want to ride Hebden Bridge. I want to go riding with one of my mates who I haven't ridden with for years, who lives here, mountain biking stuff. I want to go ride Jumbo Hole Clough. I want to go ride Shipley Glen. I want to go ride Blackstone Edge. I want to go ride so many places that I used to go, but I've literally only got a couple of days, so I'm gonna have to be picky, but I definitely need to go ride street in Hebden Bridge, so keep an eye out for that video. That'll be linked down below when it's available. But yeah, got some decent arm warmers now, I think. Oh, and I've definitely decided that I want to buy a first aid kit. If you're going to be going about the place, who knows where the hospitals and pharmacies are, definitely worth getting a first aid kit. I don't have one, but I feel like it's definitely worth having. I also want one of those little handheld vacuum cleaners, and as soon as I get back from this trip, I'm going to get myself one of those. I think a little handheld vacuum cleaner would just be great to keep on top of cleanliness in here. So as soon as I get back, one of those will be ordered. So that may have been a quick cut for you guys, but actually all that previous footage I filmed about a month ago. I'm now parked up back at home, which you may be able to hear some of the traffic noise. I'm on a busy road, so apologies for that. But I've got some updates for you guys. So the first one, gadget, I promised I was gonna get it in that last clip, and I did. I got myself a little handheld vacuum cleaner, and I've actually been on holiday with Jane in this motorhome for about a week, and yeah, this thing has already paid for itself. It is awesome. I love gadgets and this thing is great. So yeah, if you're getting a motorhome, you want to keep it tidy, one of these things, so handy. Now the other thing I said I was gonna get was a first aid kit. So yeah, I got one of these. Being sensible, come on, I'm doing extreme sports, I'm out there, I'm on the road, I don't know where I'm going. Having a first aid kit, it just makes sense. So got myself one of these. I just keep it above the cab. Yeah, just get one, just get one. Now Sunlight have actually added a double USB socket behind the seats here, but I've got so much equipment, so many cameras to charge. I've added a wee hub here just to be able to charge more equipment, and it's, yeah, already proved to be pretty handy. Kitchen update, super exciting. I've added a kitchen paper towel holder. yeah, that's actually really boring. Now one thing I noticed was that when you came in, you take off your shoes, where do you put them? They kind of ended up cluttering the area a little bit. So I've actually added a couple of shoe holders. These things are about £2 off Amazon for 4 of them. And yeah, they're just dead handy for keeping the shoes out of the way, keeping the entrance less cluttered, keeps my muddy shoes off the carpet. So yeah, there's like not an exciting thing, but I'm actually super stoked on these. Another little detail that I got is a hook. I mean, I actually bought a bunch of these and I've only got this one stuck up, but the more I live in this, the more I'll find I want to hang things up and get more of them stuck. But again, they're super cheap and they're just really handy. So yeah, may as well just get yourself some hooks and customize your motorhome a little bit. While editing that past footage, I also realised I didn't show you actually a really cool feature. It's actually a feature my last one had, but if you're new to my channel, you may not have seen that. We've got a TV. How cool is that? So there's actually a satellite dish on the roof, and yeah, if you're away and you want to catch up, watch some TV, you've got one. The other really cool thing about this is if you've got your laptop and you've been filming, you can actually hook it up to this and watch this, let other people view it. Or if you want to watch a DVD on your laptop, you can watch it on this. Everyone can see it a little bit better. So yeah, really handy thing to have. Now below the TV actually leads me on to something I forgot to show you previously. We do actually have a pretty big freezer here. Check that out. So if you're going to go away, you want to keep some food for a while, you can. And I've actually gone and added a whiteboard sticker on here. So if I'm away doing, I don't know, an enduro or filming, I can add a list on here, make sure I've not forgotten my gloves, my helmet. I can have a checklist when I'm filming, make sure I've got my SD cards, I've charged my batteries. So having a whiteboard is just a pretty handy place to make notes and stuff. So I'm actually pretty pleased with that. And this thing doesn't just have a freezer. What would the point in that be? Below it, we have a rather large fridge as well, which, believe me, is very handy to have. And so concludes the video of me collecting the motorhome and showing you around it. Obviously, this was the Sunlight T68XV edition, which is their 15-year anniversary edition, which is a rather pimp one. They do many other models, so if this one is too big, they do smaller ones as well. I like the big one because it's got the biggest garage for my bikes at the back, but if you don't need that, they do many other models as well. I've also got to give a huge thanks to Loudon's World of Leisure down in Nottingham. Those guys are always so helpful and so friendly. They make swapping this vehicle so easy. So if you are in the UK and you want to buy, borrow, hire a Sunlight motorhome or others, definitely hit up Loudon's. They will help you out. Alright everyone, that's the end of this video. I always struggle to make short videos. I don't know how people do it. I hope you enjoyed it either way. Let me know down in the comments. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. There will be plenty more riding videos to come in the future. If you are wanting to pick up some merch like I am modelling just now, the hat and hoodie plus more are available on my website clarkson.com. And if you want to see longer videos released earlier, then hit up my Patreon channel as well. I hope you have an absolutely amazing week no matter what you get up to, and I will catch you next time. So thanks for joining me. See you later everyone. Bye bye.